So yes, my name is Dr. Roger Sesa. I'm a health and wellness expert, also a chiropractor. Health and wellness is what got me into chiropractic to begin with. So I'm going to talk a little bit about energy hacks and how to be more productive, how to improve your concentration and focus. Now it says 5 up there, but I actually came up with 10, which means I'll probably get to 3. I'll do the best I can. So what makes me really excited about energy and productivity? Well, I tell you what. I am a guy who's on the go from the second my feet hit the ground until the end of the day. I'm a chiropractor. I work all the time. I'm also with what I do, I have to write reports. I got to stay on top of, patient care. And I also am a marathon runner. And I ran the Boston Marathon last year, so I really believe in having enough energy to get all the things accomplished in life that we need to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about rituals first, because I really think the best way to improve your energy levels and productivity and concentration is to have rituals in place. I can give you tips all day, but if you don't implement them in some way, that's totally useless. And it's just like we're having a little jacuzzi moment. It feels good, but afterwards nothing changes. So I want this to be a bit more pivotal for you. So first of all, when you start your day off, I'm going to recommend every single one of you, by the side of your bed, have a tall glass of water. Okay, now if you have pets, put something over the top of it, because there's nothing worse listening in the middle of the night, right? It wakes you up. So tall glass of water, and the first thing you got to do when you wake up is drink the water down, because dehydration is one of those things that can lead to poor focus and concentration, also injuries and other things that can happen. So you got to replenish the water that you lose at night. Why? Because when we breathe, we lose moisture into the air, because we live in an arid region. So we lose a lot of water at night. So you have to replace it first thing. Next thing, I'm a huge fan of breathing exercises. Who here has heard of Wim Hof? I know my Alexander Technique person, maybe. Yeah, we got one over there. Wim Hof, also known as the Iceman. I really strongly recommend that you look into breath holding exercises. Okay, now the reason why is because oxygen is very important for the body. We need to keep that oxygen circulating. We start getting low on oxygen, and again, our concentration, focus, and energy levels are going to start to drop. So look him up, please. I recommend writing the name down, the Iceman. After you get to the Top Gun reference, you'll see Wim Hof there. He has something on YouTube. You can look him up there. You can find him on Google. He's got some great techniques. I really recommend that you look at those. Next thing is exercise. If you're not an exerciser, I cannot recommend enough that you do something to get your body moving. Believe it or not, your body is designed to move. A lot, actually. So you've got to keep it going. And if you're not into it, then listen, at least a 10-minute walk in the morning. A 10-minute walk has been proven to improve attitude and mood for up to 2 or 3 hours. So at least a walk. If you want to push it a little bit more, go 20 minutes and then do something called HIIT, high intensity interval training. That's where you can walk a little bit. If you're starting off easy, just walk a little bit and then just do a light jog. Oh God, I don't want to run, Doc. I can't stand running. You know what? A light jog, anybody can do a light jog. If not, try cycling, try swimming, try there's weightlifting. There's things that you can do in the morning. And if you really want to kick it to the next level, like me, an hour every day of exercise will really turn your energy levels on, just bring them right up. So make that part of your routine. Now next, after that, the shower. Okay, I know this sounds kind of funny, but I'm going to challenge you on this one. I always do something cringeworthy when I talk, and this is one I usually get that cringe look. Okay, so when you shower, finish your shower off 1 minute of cold water. Turn it all the way over. Yes. Now that cold water stimulates the skin. It stimulates the mind. I'm telling you, it's better than a cup of coffee. You'll walk out like, if you don't feel it when the water hits you, by the time you're done after a minute, you're pretty charged up. Okay, we have to challenge ourselves. I think we don't challenge ourselves enough. We all want to be comfortable. Comfort's so nice and it's so easy, but if you're comfortable in your business or in your relationship or in your spiritual life, you're not growing. And we have to do things to push our comfort levels. And I think that cold shower reminds us that we got to push the comfort level. So do that cold shower. Now next, I'm a big fan of something called mushroom coffee. Anybody heard of this? No. So look, you'll find it on Amazon. Four Sigmatic is the name of the company. Four Sigmatic, they do something called mushroom. You can get it instant or you can get it in drip or brew. I got started on this about 1.5 years ago, and it really gets my focus going really well. So I do it every morning now, along with fasting. I'm an intermittent faster. So if you haven't heard of the benefits of intermittent fasting, it's another way to kind of kick your metabolism up. And there's a crazy thing. So I say intermittent fasting. Most of the time people go, oh, I don't want to go without food. How would that help me concentrate or focus? Well, who here has experienced the hangries? You know, when you go too long without eating, you're kind of grumpy and nobody wants to be around you. Well, if you're willing to try pushing through that hanger, usually it lasts about 10 or 15 minutes, and then after that it goes away, especially if you drink some water during that time. Now I know it's kind of crazy, and I wanted to test this, and it really is true. After that period of 10 or 15 minutes of the hangry thing, and it goes away, energy and concentration will pick up. So I do fasting for anywhere from 16 to 20 hours, 3 days a week. And at least once a month I'll do a 24-hour fast, and then 3 times a year I'll do a 48-hour fast. So push yourself. Again, this is one of those comfort level things, and it can really help with, there's tons of studies on it. If you're not sure about it, just talk to me, I'll help you with that. After that, okay, so your meal, your lunchtime meal, this is one you have to be careful with, because high carbs will cause you to crash. So you ever eat and then afterwards feel really, really sleepy? Well, watch the carbs on that, the breads, the pasta, the rice, the chips. That stuff will bring your insulin levels up, your sugar levels up, and then cause you to crash right afterwards. So speaking of insulin levels and sugar, if you are going to do coffee in the morning, you can look up, if you want to do the mushroom coffee, you can look up something called bulletproof coffee. Now I like bulletproof coffee because anything you can do to bypass the insulin pathway in the body will help you, not just health-wise, but also with your concentration and focus. So fat's good, fat is okay. So in my coffee I like to put full fat whipping cream. Just put it right in there, mix it up, down it goes. Because I'm going to bypass the sugar pathway, and it's going to give me some sustained energy. So do that one, all right? No sugar, no honey, nothing even artificial. You cannot stimulate the taste buds with sweet, because the body will respond if you do, and it'll kind of lead you into a pseudo pathway where insulin is or sugar is perceived by the body. So next thing, fasting. So after lunch, if you like, and you want to take a little, I'm a firm believer in power naps. Like if you have any lineage of Latin countries, they all took a siesta, right? There was something about taking an afternoon, just a little breather, and there's something about that. Now I kick it up a notch. I like to do meditation or guided meditation while I'm taking my 20-minute power naps. Go like, what? Well, these days you can go to YouTube and look up guided meditation 20 minutes. And there's a ton of stuff that'll pop up. So I'll set an alarm on my phone, and I'll put the YouTube thing on, and I'll just set it aside, and I'll just kind of go into that state. Now, I like the stuff that again, focuses my mental attitude on positive things. And if you listen, these days, podcasts are great. There's tons of them out there. There's some great motivational talks. There's people who know how to master energy. I'm a huge, huge fan of the guy by the name of Tim Ferriss. Tim Ferriss wrote a book called Tools of the Titans. A lot of the stuff I'm talking about now you will see in that book. I highly recommend that you get it. If you're not a big reader, at least check out his podcast, because he interviews people at the top of what they do in their profession, and he gives tips and other ideas on how to master that. Next productivity, let's see, we got through the nap. Now it's going to be what I put down here. Okay, supplements. Let's talk a little bit about nutrition. So, omega-3 fatty acids. Anybody here familiar with those? Heard those before? Omega-3 fatty acids? Okay, it is very, very important for brain health. Especially, there's different types of them now. Okay, so omega-3s you'll find in like flaxseed oil is an example, and that's a good one. But I really like the fish oil. Okay, and the reason being is because it's got DHA and EPA in it, which are known to help cognitive function or help the brain. So that should be a part of your regular routine. There's a good quality one. The one that I take every day is by a company called Carlson's. Carlson's fish oil, because it's Norwegian caught fish, it's lowest in toxins. They vacuum extract it, and then they make it shelf stable by removing the oxygen out of it, and they flavor it just a little bit. So it honestly, it just tastes like a little bit of olive oil with some orange or lemon flavoring in it. And you can get it at Whole Foods. Just get the liquid form. Don't do the capsules for cost efficiency, and just who wants to swallow a great big capsule? You can take the liquid. You could drizzle on a salad if you want. There's tons of ways. You can put it in a shake if you want, or if you like me, just take it right off the spoon. My kids take it right off the spoon. Okay, it's that good. And your kids should be on it too, or grandkids. Next is vitamin D3. Let's face it, we're stuck in here. We're not getting, vitamin D is produced by the body on the skin when the sun hits it. we're not getting vitamin D in here. This like lighting, this incandescent lighting isn't doing a thing for us, right? So if you're not able to get enough sunshine every day on your arms, face, hands, and skin, and don't burn, I'm not saying to go burn, you have to know where your level is of, you know, how much sunscreen to put on, but if you're putting sunscreen on, you're blocking your vitamin D production, which is going to make you even more deficient. The best way to know where you are is you can get your blood levels tested. Next time you go in for your physical, just ask them to test your vitamin D levels. The LA Times ran a great article about 3 years ago, and they called vitamin D the wonder drug, because when you're deficient in it, there's a lot of awful things that start to happen within the body. So make sure you're getting an adequate amount of vitamin D3. Next tip, hold on, we got, I already know, I passed my 5, I'm going faster than I thought I would. This is pretty good. Okay, so I like, I don't know about you, but the older I get, the harder I have, like some things are hard to remember. You know, sometimes you come up with a great idea and you're like, oh yeah, that's great. And like a day later, like, I had a great idea. Could have made me $1 million, I know it, right? So I carry around index cards, so you can see I've got one right here. So when I go throughout my day, I've got one in my pocket at all times. I whip it out and something comes up and I just jot it down really quick, and at the end of the day I can go back through again. Oh yeah, that's right, I got to check on that or do this. So we need constant reminders of little things, that because ideas come and go, and sometimes those ideas can be pretty important. Now another thing I do is on top of my water, because I told you cover your water at night because your animals will get to it, I put an index card, a blank one, every day. And when I get up in the morning after I do my breathing exercises, I just quiet my mind, and then sometimes something will pop in that I need to get done, or a person's name will come up and it goes on the card, and that's something I can follow up on throughout the day. Right? So that sometimes you even get good ideas that maybe you're dreaming. You ever wake up from a dream and go, wow, that was wild. Sometimes our dreams tell us things, and if you can just jot down a thing or two to remind you about the dream, then that's the next level up on how to make things happen. How am I doing on time?
Yeah, 10 minutes, 9 minutes.
9 minutes left?
You're rocking.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Hey, more Q&A?
More Q&A, there you go. Okay, now the next one, this is a biggie. Okay, this is a biggie. How can you be productive? How can you concentrate and focus? How can you put your energies to the place they need to be when you are in pain? And I think you all know what I mean by this, right? Because if you're in pain, you're just not going to be able to put 100% of where your energy needs to go. So if there's something going on, and here's the other thing too, other people depend on your productivity too, whether it's our family members or our coworkers or our team members, and you can't let them down by not being at your best either. So that weaker link can be the things that are happening to us, you know, with these, and we have a way of treating pain in our lives. I mean, I'll just ask you this question, like, what do they call that little box in the bathroom with the mirror on it? Medicine. Isn't that kooky? We have a place in our homes for medicine. We've actually gotten used to the idea, right? Well, I tell you what, I should be a vitamin cabinet. I just thinking, why don't they call it a vitamin cabinet? Just call it a vitamin cabinet for now, put the good stuff in there, okay? But we've gotten to the point where it's like we treat pain like, you know, there's a day quill, there's a night quill, pretty soon there's going to be an afternoon quill for meetings like this, right? There's something for every little thing that comes up, but honestly, if you're like I am, I don't think more medications are a solution to problems. I think, if anything, fewer medications are a real solution to a problem. So try to find natural ways of dealing with the things that you're going through. Even if that means, you know, the pain that you're dealing with, your pain is there, it's a signaling system. It's there to tell you something is happening. And it's also, if you ignore pain for long enough, eventually your body will scream at you and you'll have a full-blown breakdown. And that's not acceptable either. And again, the people who rely on you, they'll suffer in some way as well. So, along with the pain, I'll tell you probably the last big tip, and I'm glad that somebody who does Alexander technique, is posture. Poor posture has been documented to decrease organ efficiency, to slow down circulation, to negatively affect concentration and focus, and yes, even poor posture is associated with early death. So if you or someone you know is kind of struggling with the posture stuff, get in and see a good chiropractor, Alexander practitioner, because they do focus on the posture as well, and somebody who can really help you with the posture. And these days, by the way, what position are most people spending their time in when they're working?
Sitting.
Anybody here, sitting is the new smoking? Yeah. It's kind of one of those things. Again, it's been in the last like 10 years, a lot more has been coming out about sitting. The reason why they say sitting is the new smoking is because it doesn't matter how much you exercise, how well you eat, how much rest you get. If you're smoking, you're causing damage to your body. Same thing, it doesn't matter how much you exercise, how well you eat, if you're sitting for prolonged periods, it is damaging your body. They found a lot of stuff that's happening with that, not just deconditioning the spine and causing breakdown there, but increasing blood clots, increasing diabetes, increasing your risk for heart disease, all kinds of other stuff. So if you're one of those people stuck at a desk for a very, very long period of time, and they're saying now more than 5 hours a day of sitting, cumulatively, there's some issues going on. Look into a Varidesk. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Yes. Yeah, they go up and down. Now, I know people that get Varidesks and then they still sit. Like, okay, you have to use it. So you got to set a timer, right? How often should you set a timer to change your position?
5 minutes?
It's about 20 to 30 minutes. Yeah, 20 to 30 minutes. You want to change that position up. If you can't get a Varidesk, you want to stand up at least every 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, that's about the maximum you want to do. Stand up, do a jumping jack, go get a drink of water, use the restroom, talk to a team member or colleague if you need to, but change something up so you're not stuck in that position for too long a period. I got 20 minutes today. That's right. I built this for a 10-minute lecture. Wow. Holy cow. Okay. So what else can I cover on this? Let's go a little bit more. I'll talk a little bit more about the exercise part of it, because a study recently came out where they took 70 and 80-year-olds who are having balance problems and issues, which is, again, part of cognitive function. And they gave them exercises to do. Pool exercises if they couldn't do anything weight bearing, but just some simple activities for about half an hour to 45 minutes every day. At the end of the month-long study, every single one of them, their balance improved. Their balance improved, their coordination improved, and they did better on cognitive tests. So again, I cannot say enough about that exercise portion of moving your body. And again, if you're not sure, get with a good personal trainer, and there's a lot of them out there. If you don't have a gym membership, maybe that's something to consider. But get with a pack of people who like to do, here's the question. Think about what you like to do when you were a kid. What type of exercises? Like, did you do a sport? So chances are that you'll do just as well now if you pick that same type of activity to do. Like, if you like to run or play soccer, well, not play soccer. Don't play soccer in your 80s. Probably not a good idea. Basketball either. That's not a good idea. But at least mimic some of the activities that you can do, that you enjoyed when you were a kid. Best time of day to exercise? What do you think?
Morning.
Typically, anytime you're most likely to do it, right? Because people say, oh, I can't do it in the morning, because sometimes the mornings get hectic. Well, then the afternoon, right? What about the evening? So you have 3 opportunities every day to get your exercise in: morning, afternoon, or evening, right? So, and that, by the way, out of 7 days a week, that's 21 opportunities a week to exercise. There's no excuses, right? Awesome, right? All right.
Get a dog.
Get a dog. There you go. Good one. Good one.
Can you go over the mushroom coffee again?
The Four Sigmatic mushroom coffee, yes.
And does it taste like mushroom?
It doesn't, surprisingly, because something tastes really funky, we're not going to buy it or try it, right? There's no way. It doesn't taste like coffee at all. The best thing I can recommend is go to Amazon. If you don't have an Amazon account, you can actually buy this stuff over at Whole Foods. They sell it there. Whole Foods, yes. Whole Foods sells it. At Whole Foods you can buy, I think it's about 12 of them for $25, but you can get on Amazon 12 of them for about $12. So
the benefit of it is?
Yeah, what's
there's something about the extracts in the mushroom that seem to help with either it's a circulation to the brain or something, or firing the synapses. So it can get those synapses firing a bit more efficiently. And at first I was I'm a scientist. I am a scientist, and I like to try things out, and I'm skeptical, but sometimes I'm just kind of geared that way. But I said, I had so many people recommend it. I'm like, all right, I'll give it a try. And I got the Instants, and I took one of them, like, that's pretty good. And then I tried taking 2 of them, 2 coffees, and whoa, I was just like, I could not believe how much that really kicked my concentration up.
So it's magic mushrooms.
Yeah, something like that. For those of you who have been around long enough.
We're all the same.
There is the caffeine version, but you can also get it in a tea or also a cocoa. So they do have non-caffeinated versions as well.
The same effect of dropping butter in your coffee?
That's a whole different thing. But the butter coffee the bulletproof coffee is a great one too. But it's actually, so I've done the mushroom coffee with the butter in it.
Really?
Yeah.
See, it's magic.
Yeah. It's magic. Yeah. So that's kicking it up a bit too.
Come in decaf, the bullet?
Yes, you can get, like I said, you can get it cocoa or in tea. They're making it in tea now. Bulletproof coffee, look it up. Bulletproof coffee. That's Dave Asprey came up with this idea, and it's a way to get your caffeine in the morning without using sugar. Again, I think sugar is pretty evil. Of all the things you can get rid of in your life to improve your health, get rid of sugar, right? But it's a way to have a good coffee that's got good nutrients in it to give you sustained energy throughout the day by bypassing that insulin or sugar pathway. So, and if you do
Come in decaf coffee?
bulletproof coffee, you can use anything with the bulletproof, but most people who gravitate towards it do tend to like the caffeine kick. But you can also do that without the caffeine too. Yes, you can do a decaf. Yes.
I was going to say a take on your index cards.
Yeah.
I don't know how I started doing it. I have Post-its.
Oh, yeah.
In my car.
Yeah.
And at a stoplight, usually
Yeah.
I pick it up and I write things that I need to do. And then when I'm done at the end of
Yeah,
the
and
day,
there's the phone,
I
yeah.
get home, I crumple up because I just sat in the parking lot and called 4 people that I had written down that
Right.
I wouldn't have thought.
Right.
That's a great
And
idea.
I put the Post-its and then I throw them away when I'm done and I feel like, oh, I did something.
My son had me download an app called Notes.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
don't like it.
And it's tough to transition
It's hard
to.
to-
Right,
I
yeah.
started to transition to it just like when I wake up, the first thing I do is I go to the notes and I jot
Yeah.
down a few things that I need to do or that
It's
kicks
like,
me in the drain.
it's like transitioning yourself to use the phone calendar
Yes. same
instead
thing.
of
Yes.
writing in a book. It's the same
Well,
thing.
and I
It's
used to
hard
be, I used to be, I couldn't put anything in this unless I went home and put it on the computer. And then it would
That's
be in
what I
its
do.
phone,
Right.
and then I would have to sync it
Okay.
all, and I was
Same
like,
thing.
One last thing. If you like the tips that you heard today, I'm on Facebook at Roger DeSesa, DCCWP, right? There's also a fun little page called the Daily Apple. The Daily Apple, where you get lots of tips and tools on health hacks and other great things to do, so you can check that one out as well. And I am located right here in the Santa Clarita Valley on Newhall Ranch Road, right next to the Italian Deli. If you're not familiar with it, we're Carl's Jr. and 7-Eleven intersection. I'm right there. I've been there for 15 years now.
Who was the Titan guy who wrote?
Oh, Tools of the Titan is the name of the book. Tools of the Titan.
was the guy?
Tim Ferriss. Tim Ferriss. Timferris, I think, is it, or 2 S's? Ferris. Yeah, he does podcasts too. It's a Tim Ferriss show. And again, he interviews the best of the best in what they do. And the first part of the book is all about the health hacks and things that you can do to improve your performance, concentration, focus. Some of these things I told you about came from there. Iceman is Wim Hof. Wimhof. Yeah.
So Ferris is Ferriss.
Oh, there you go. Two R's, 2 S's. Thank you, Stacy. You're awesome. And Wim Hof. Check out Wim Hof. He has 20 Wimhof. He has 27 world records in breath holding exercises. I'm sorry, not breath holding. In cold water submersion. And the guy's he's 75 years old now, and the things he does are just amazing. So he ran a marathon through the Antarctic wearing nothing but shorts, barefoot. Yeah. So yeah, right, yeah. And just to top it off, yeah, very cold. Yeah, just to be a show off, then he ran a marathon through the Nibi Desert, the oldest, hottest desert in the world, without drinking water.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so the guy's he's an amazing guy. So just check out he has something on Netflix, a documentary. And some of his techniques are, and like I said, if you do the breathing exercise in combination with I'm a big fan of ice baths. Yeah. Again, get out of your comfort zone.
But I can attest to the cold water. Because I have to, with colored hair, you can't do hot water. It's all ice cold.
Right. Yeah.
So I can say it does wake me up, although I get excited when the hair's faded and I can take a warm shower. Especially in winter.
George, did you have
I had a
one
quick
last
question.
Yes.
Can you address supplements a little bit in terms of, can you maybe not overdose, but for somebody who's taking medications and then they're trying to supplement?
Thank you for bringing that up. Yes.
Can you kind of address that a little bit?
Yes,
for us?
and I'm going to go on 2 points on that because that's a very important point. Now, when getting back to the energy, concentration, and focus level, if you are on, or somebody knows on medication or polypharmacy, which means more than one medication, please check out a website called drugs.com. Real tough one to remember, right? Drugs.com. And then put in the medications that they're on. and it'll tell you if there's any interactions, because the pharmacist will tell you if there's skull and crossbones. They don't want you to take anything that's going to kill you, but they don't let you know about severe side effects or moderate side effects. And also in that same website, you can put in any supplements that somebody's taking too, along with the medication. So if there's any interactions with any of those, that it will pop up, and please be aware. Even if it doesn't kill you, over enough time, those things can kind of accumulate and cause other problems. Now, the only supplements, there are some that you can't overdose on, so you do want to be careful. They're usually fat-soluble supplements, A, D, E, and K. D is completely reversible if you take too much of it, but you can take up to 20,000 IUs a day and still be within, especially if you're deficient, and still be within a safe zone. So the other ones, yeah, I don't know if many people are dying from supplement overdose these days. It's pretty rare. So iron's definitely one you want to be careful with. By the way, best source of iron is a cast iron skillet with something you make some sauces in. It brings some of those old wives stuff in. Old wives stuff is pretty good. So it brings the iron out into the food, into the sauce, and then it's a good way to get it naturally too. So yeah, good question.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Drugs.com. We actually teach that in Raging Nasty through our group of senior specialist groups, which you'd be great in.
Oh, well, invite me over. I'd love to talk. Yeah. Okay, so thank you all very much. Bless you all. It's a pleasure to see you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.